watching Local News 8 at 10. Local people, local news.
Good evening. A BYU Idaho student fighting back after getting a grade she's not happy with. The student says she failed an art project because her photos were showing too much. Too much being her subject's shoulders. The student says she met all the requirements and the grade wasn't warranted. Lauren Steinbecker starts us off with tonight's top story.
This photo series is titled Primary Colors. You see a woman's painted face, symbolic of the image she portrays to the world, says the woman behind the camera, Waverly Giles.
She's reflecting on her primary colors that she's displaying and the essence of who she is.
For her, an artistic message shown in a creative way. Giles, professor at BYU Idaho, apparently did not see it like that.
When I saw these, I just didn't know what to do with them. They're just so out there.
And you can see he wrote that on the freshman's grading sheet, which actually isn't graded at all. She says she got a 0 on this portrait photography assignment.
The fact that my photos were implying full nudity and that it was not in compliance with the dress code.
The BYU dress code would mandate those shoulders stay covered up, but to Giles, this is art.
Because there was nothing provocative or suggestive about the photos.
She says in class they studied art like Michelangelo's David, and he's fully nude. We reached out to the professor to get his take, but he hasn't responded. Giles says she got to redo the assignment, and this time
I actually did a piece about censorship.
Now, as you heard, the BYU Idaho professor, along with BYU Idaho, have not replied to Lauren's request for comment. So we want to know, what do you think of this art controversy? Was the professor right in his grading? Share your thoughts on our Facebook page, Local News 8, or you can send us an email. You see the email there on your screen. It's newsdesk@localnews8.com. Over in the weather department, it's downright cold, only going to get colder, and there's a lot of snow out there, Chris.
You just summed it up. I probably don't even need to be here anymore because, yeah, that's what we're seeing. 35 degrees right now in Pocatello. They had snow. It has since shifted to rain. A lot of places, American Falls, Pocatello, have been kind of around the cusp of you don't go too far out of town, it changes over to snow. And Pocatello saw a little bit of both. But again, those winds are the other issue. And you see the band is mostly in the southern part of our region. In fact, if we zoom in on it, mainly the Pocatello region in particular, it's just starting to slide out of town. And Soda Springs, actually, I've had a couple of folks being like, hey, where's the snow? We were under the warning area. It's coming. It's just taking its merry sweet time in getting there. Once it's all said and done, Soda Springs, you guys look at a couple inches. Mountains above town will certainly get more. Now, tonight, 10 degrees, so it's going to be chilly tonight with those winds sticking around 10 to 20 miles an hour. And we are going to talk more about our next storm, as well as, like Chris alluded to, extra cold temperatures. I mean, we're talking sub-zero temperatures for most of the region in the forecast. I'll have more on that soon. Chris?
With these dropping temps on the way, it's important to not only remember our loved ones and pets, but also our cars. When you hit the road, the experts over at BP say all the salt, ice, and water is going to cause significant damage to your undercoat. So when temperatures are above freezing, they encourage you to wash the underneath portion of your car. BP's also says be aware of rodents. Pests tend to find warm spots of the car when the weather temperatures drop, and that can cause serious damage. Second, watch your tire tread. When the roads get icy, you'll want to be able to stop, and not having enough tread could make that traction difficult. Final tip, check your tire pressure. The cold temperatures will cause it to drop. The organization says to check the pressure on your tires about every 2 weeks. Be sure to wake up tomorrow morning with Dan Larkin, Allison Zimmerman, and Chris Bruin for everything that you need to know about the snow and road conditions. The Local News 8 morning show starts at 5 a.m. A developing story now. Tonight, we are learning an Oregon woman who drowned her young daughter before completing suicide has ties to eastern Idaho. The Owyhee County Sheriff says they found the body of Desiree Vistershill and her 16-month-old daughter in a field near Bruno, Idaho. According to the Idaho Statesman, Vistershill graduated from Sugar Salem High School in Sugar City. She also studied psychology at Idaho State University. The Owyhee County Sheriff says Vistershill drowned her young daughter in a bucket before shooting herself in the front seat of her car. A farm worker found the bodies last week. Funeral services are still pending. Looking ahead, the Bonneville County man accused of killing his girlfriend will be in court tomorrow. Jeremy White was arrested in Nye County, Nevada over a week ago. He's accused of strangling his longtime partner, Kristen Caldwell, and then burying her body in the basement of their home. Court documents say Caldwell was killed by White after Caldwell found out that White was having an affair with another woman, Dina Aday. This is Aday here. Aday has been charged in the case. She's facing accessory to felon charges for being with White after the murder, but not turning him in. The sheriff's office says Aday played no role in Caldwell's death. She will also make her first court appearance tomorrow morning as well. Going around the region now, we start in Nampa. Police there are looking for 18-year-old Sage Thompson. Sage was last seen early in the mornings of October 2nd. Sage's family is offering a $10,000 reward for information on his location. We'll put his picture on our website after this newscast. If you know anything about where he is, you're asked to call police. Let's head south now to Salt Lake City. That is where a SkyWest flight headed to Burbank, California returned after a passenger complained that a crew member might be drunk. The flight returned, the crew was tested, nothing was found. A new flight crew did take over, though. To the Trump transition now, President-elect Donald Trump still trying to decide who will be his Secretary of State. The short list has included a wide range of candidates from Mitt Romney and Rudy Giuliani to General David Petraeus. Today, one of the president's-elect senior advisors confirmed the short list is growing.
Well, it is true that he's broadened the search, and Secretary of State is an incredibly important position for any president to fill. He continues to talk to different people. I think you've all seen the list of 4 that already existed. This week he'll have additional interviews with other candidates.
One possible addition to the Secretary of State shortlist is Jon Huntsman. The former Republican governor of Utah ran for president back in 2012. He's also the former ambassador to China, a country which has already lodged a formal complaint with the United States over Trump's controversial phone call with the president of Taiwan. The recount efforts in Pennsylvania are back on. Green Party president candidate Jill Stein announced today that she plans to escalate her efforts after saying Saturday she was going to drop them. She told Fox News Sunday that voters want to be confident in the election system.
I care what the voters think about this, not what the politicians or the pundits or the party operatives think about this. This is about responding to the American voters who are standing up and saying we deserve an election system that we can trust and that is accurate, that is secure against hacking, against human error, against machine error, and that in which the votes are being counted. Because right now it's not clear that all the votes are being counted.
The statewide recount in Pennsylvania was withdrawn after a judge ordered voters requesting the recount to pay a $1 million bond to help cover the cost. Stein says she's now filing in federal court seeking the statewide recount on constitutional grounds. Stein's campaign says it is also pursuing local recounts in Pennsylvania, including recounts in Philadelphia County. Corporal punishment, it's not something that you think about when you think about school discipline. But did you know that Idaho is one of just 7 states that has no law banning corporal punishment and no law expressly permitting it? According to Idaho Education News, Idaho State Superintendent of Education Sherry Ibarra thinks the issue of corporal punishment should be left up to individual school districts. This news comes as current Education Secretary John King Jr. says the punishment should be done away with. The Idaho Education Department doesn't know of any issues with corporal punishment being a problem in schools. The state of Idaho wants your input on a proposed veteran cemetery near Blackfoot. The proposed 38-acre site is adjacent to the state hospital south and would cost $8.3 million. If you would like to have your voices heard, you can send comments in writing to the address there on your screen. I'm going to give this to you a couple of times so you can write it down. The address is going to be the Idaho Division of Veteran Services. That address is 351 Collins Road. That's again 351 Collins Road in Boise, Idaho, 83702. Looking ahead to tomorrow, the Idaho Falls City Council will meet to discuss the future of Tophus Park and Heritage Park. The council will look at a master plan for both of those parks. Also on the agenda, a vote on proposed changes to snow ordinance in the community. It is something a parent should never have to do. Losing a child can be devastating. For some, coping comes in the form of support, and there is a place in Idaho Falls where those impacted by the death of a child can gather for that support every year. The Christmas Box Angel is designed to commemorate children who have passed away. The statue is based on the popular book by Richard Paul Evans called The Christmas Box. The angel plays a prominent role for the character who has lost a child. Readers have been so touched by the story that 200 memorial statues like the one here in the video have been erected worldwide. The statue at Fielding Memorial Cemetery has a special meaning for the Hells. They lost a granddaughter, and they have a message to other parents and grandparents.
Come and be part of it so that we can help each other, so that we can help our hearts your heart never heals, but it softens and it consoles.
There will be a vigil at the statue this Tuesday, December 6th at 6 p.m. And that is at Fielding Memorial Cemetery on South Yellowstone in Idaho Falls. The Hill suggests that you bring a candle, bring some flowers to leave there, and be sure to dress warm. A Wyoming community among the most romantic in the nation. Still ahead tonight, who got the title and why. Plus, drivers have a reason to smile tonight. Coming up after 10:20, what the experts are saying about gas prices. Also ahead, the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe declaring victory after an oil pipeline is halted. Tonight, how the sheriff is responding. But first, as we go to break, here's a look at your highs and lows tonight. We'll be right back. New developments tonight in the deadly California warehouse fire. In the last few hours, the death toll has risen to 33. Teenagers are among the victims. Not even half of the burned out building has been searched. As many as 100 people have gathered in the space for a party when the blaze broke out. ABC's Danya Bacchus is on the scene.
Questions growing about if this tragedy could have been prevented. Just last month, an investigation launched after complaints by neighbors. Sunday, the mayor saying they also want answers.
Today, our district attorney, Nancy O'Malley, did activate a criminal investigation. That team is on the site and working in concert with our other law enforcement partners.
The warehouse, known as an artist colony called Ghost Ship, became an inferno Friday night, killing a couple dozen people, including minors, even affecting first responders.
This tragedy has hit very close to home for our agency. One of our deputies that we work with lost his son in this fire.
And the agony is setting in for family and friends who are desperate to hear from their loved ones.
I want to be there. Give me some gloves. I got work shoes. I'm ready. Let me find my brother.
Please just call us. We're all looking for you, your mom, your dad, everybody. Your husband, please. Can you just call any of us? If you're around, something happened, we don't care. We just want to know if you're alive or not.
Authorities say they've been able to identify.
Our coverage of the tragedy in Oakland continues through the night online at localnews8.com. Be sure to join Robin and George for Good Morning America with all the overnight developments starting tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Tonight, the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe declaring victory. A controversial multi-state pipeline under construction in North Dakota will not go forward. Late today, the Army Corps of Engineers refused to grant permission for it to cross a Native American reservation. Hundreds of protesters cheered upon hearing the Army Corps of Engineers announcement that it will not grant an easement for the Dakota Access Pipeline to cross just north of the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation.
Either we make it or break it, and I guess we made it.
The tribe and its supporters claim the pipeline will threaten the tribe's water source and cultural sites.
Remember, from day one, we said there will be no black snake going through CDC.
The four-state, $3.8 million project is almost complete in North Dakota, except for the segment that would run under the Mississippi River. The Dallas-based company building it has said it's unwilling to reroute it, and incoming President Donald Trump has pledged his support for the pipeline. Several hundred protesters are camped out on the federal land, but the county sheriff says he and his deputies won't move in to remove them.
There's a big political agenda here. That'll have to work itself out. What our hope is the federal government will come in and start dealing with the federal reservation on federal Corps land.
The sheriff told his deputies to de-escalate when possible and only take action if protesters make aggressive moves in order to keep both the demonstrators and the company building the pipeline safe.
We're not for the company, and we're not for them. We're that big wall in between so a war doesn't happen.
The Department of Justice is also there monitoring the protests to help ensure that tensions do not boil over. Next tonight, millions facing extreme weather. In the south, heavy rain straining motorists and prompting high water rescues. Gulf Coast residents bracing for more flash flooding. Heavy rain soaking communities from Louisiana across the southeast Texas. Meanwhile, winter blasting its way across the Midwest, blanketing the small town of Shelbyville, Missouri in snow. Look at it all there, and Chris Nessman, it'll soon look like that here. It's starting to already.
It already has in some places. I was going to say, I'm like, hey, what about Rexburg? You take a look behind me, we have plenty of snow going on. But again, we're used to snow, so hence they don't pay attention because they're like, oh, you get it all the time, and it's true. 34 degrees right now in Rexburg, winds southwest at 17 miles an hour. So the winds really are the bigger factor. And you take a look at Viper radar, a lot of the action now is kind of more sweeping in the southern parts of our region that we broadcast to, and you can see Pocatello just on the northern edge, and it's been ever so slowly moving south. So in fact, Pocatello has been getting kind of the outer edges of this for a while, and then meanwhile, Soda Springs, I know a lot of folks keep waiting for the snow to come in, and it's dancing just to the north of you guys, but not quite there. Again, that will change very, very soon. Hence, we still have our winter storm warning for the high country in eastern Idaho, winter weather advisory, and they just extended that into Bingham and Bannock and parts of Power County. Not super widespread because you go farther down than that, it's too warm for the snow. Still, though, not too bad. Now, as we go through Vipercast, our storm moves out fairly quickly. And you see by 7 a.m., things are very clear, things are very calm, and just a few lingering showers, mainly around the Tetons. By tomorrow afternoon, things clear out, though you notice it doesn't stay clear too long because as we zoom back in, another storm moves in Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon. It's not going to be a very big one. In fact, more of it's going to head to our south. So this one, places like Pocatello will have a better chance at getting more snow versus Island Park, whereas today's storm was the opposite of that. Wednesday, things clear out again. And in fact, Wednesday, the big thing will be cold temperatures. And you see this area of low pressure sitting just off the coast of British Columbia. All those little speckled clouds in there, that often, and in this case, does indeed indicate cold weather, and it's coming our direction. So count on bundling up, particularly midweek. Look at that, high of 13 in Blackfoot on Wednesday, and that is significantly below average. I mean, our overnight lows are warmer than what the daytime highs will be in just a couple of days. 7 for low in Chalice, 15 for low in Salmon. Tomorrow, again, doesn't get super warm, and overnight lows even in the northern regions already hitting single digits. So we are getting our first cold blast of the season, and it will probably be one of our chilliest ones for a while because, I mean, look at those overnight lows. Sub-zero in Idaho Falls, and when you get that combined with the moisture, freezing fog will be an issue, particularly for your Wednesday morning commute. So just kind of keep that in your back pocket when you plan your travel plans. Pocatello, also getting very chilly. High of only 15 on Wednesday, overnight lows in the single digits. The nice part is we do get another decent-sized storm Thursday evening into Friday that should scour those things out, and we warm back up to normal / slightly above normal temperatures. In Jackson, definitely one of the colder spots. 10 below come Wednesday morning.
I have no words. It's cold.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to
That's
this.
definitely one when the kids head outside, extra layers, the hand warmers that you put in the gloves, super beneficial.
Or you could do what my mom used to do and have us just stand inside the door, and when we saw the bus coming, make a beeline for it as fast
I think
as you
a lot of
could.
people
As
did
fast
that.
as you could.
I was lucky. Bus stop was like right outside our house.
Ours was literally right in front.
Yeah,
and like,
it wasn't too
so,
bad,
yeah.
so.
All right. Well, thanks, Chris. A heads up for drivers tonight. The Teton Pass will be closed for a few hours tomorrow morning for avalanche control work. The Wyoming Department of Transportation plans to close Highway 22 over the pass starting at 3 a.m., so in just about 5 hours. WYDOT says the closure is not unusual for this time of year, and it was prompted by the heavy snowfall over the last week. The closure is expected to be for a few hours, depending on how much cleanup needs to be done after technicians trigger all of those avalanches. Jackson Town Council is considering ordinances that could offer more protection to renters. Here's what they would do if passed. Compel landlords to repair or maintain their properties, require leases automatically renew month to month after an initial rental agreement, as well as give eviction warnings, and also require notice before rent increases. These come as the town's housing market continues to tighten, with very little housing supply on the market and more housing stock being lost to second homeowners and rental vacation rentals. So, a romantic winter getaway may be in your plans for this holiday season. There's a place nearby that may just do the trick. Still ahead, one local community being called the most romantic. Plus an alert for Ford owners, thousands of cars being recalled, who's impacted, coming up next. Also ahead, a board game based off the Gate City. Still to come, the shock of the woman who found it.
Get First Alert weather anytime, on demand. Log on to localnews8.com.
A consumer alert for Ford owners tonight. Ford is recalling more than 680,000 cars over a seatbelt defect. This comes after at least 2 people were hurt in 2 accidents related to the issue. The vehicles in question are certain Fusion, Lincoln MKZ, and Mondeo models from 2013 to 2016. Ford says the problem could cause a seatbelt to snap during a crash. Ford will notify you if your vehicle is affected. Good news for drivers, though. The gas prices and the average price for a gallon of gas is holding steady. Right now, the average is $2.20 nationwide. Experts say refineries have had little time to react to last week's announcement by major oil-producing countries to slash output. Many retailers have yet to even see big price increases. So if a holiday getaway is in your plans for you and your sweetie, there's a place close by one group that says it is the most romantic place in the country. That's Jackson, Wyoming. Take a look at how pretty it is. TopValuesReviews.net says the 4 arches of elk antlers lit with white lights and a snowy backdrop make Jackson the perfect romantic getaway. You can see the arches there kind of in the background behind the stoplight. The beauty of winter was a big factor in the ranking. The website ranked Asheville, North Carolina the most romantic. I'm still going with Jackson. A Pocatello woman is celebrating a rare find. It's a board game produced more than 30 years ago, and it's based on the Gate City. Kara Whitworth found it at a local thrift store in the Gate City. She paid just $1.99 for it. The game was manufactured by Wheeler Dealers, who customize games for several cities. The game is similar to Monopoly, but rather than buying houses, players participate in commodities exchange. Kara says she loves seeing all the history of Pocatello that's spread around the game board.
It was just cool to look through some of the businesses that are still around, some that I've never heard of, some that I know have closed since I moved to Pocatello.
Similar versions of the game with different cities are selling on sites like eBay and Amazon anywhere from $10 to $100. The college football playoff rankings are out. See who is going bowling next on Sportsline.
Carl, can you hear me?
You're watching Sportsline with Julia Cox.
With the conference championship weekend over, it is officially bowl season. Boise State will head to Phoenix to face Baylor in the Cactus Bowl. The game will be played at Chase Field, the home of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Baylor is part of the Big 12 and are 6-6 this season. Boise State is 10-2, but will they be able to put aside the rumors that head coach Brian Harsin has interviewed for the Oregon head coaching job? We'll see. That game will be played on December 27th with kickoff set for 8:15. The Utah Utes are also going bowling. They finished at number 19 in the college football playoff rankings. Utah will face Indiana in the Foster Farms Bowl. The Utes are 8-4 overall, but ended the season on a downward slope, going 1-3 in their final 4 games. Utah's last bowl game was just last year. They played in the Las Vegas Bowl and beat BYU 35-28. This year's game will be played at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara on December 28th with kickoff set for 6:30. And last but certainly not least, and speaking of BYU, they are also going to a bowl game. They'll face Wyoming in the Poinsettia Bowl. This is actually the 78th meeting between the two teams. BYU has the advantage in the series at 44-30-3. The Cougars are 8-4 this season. Starting quarterback Taysom Hill will not play in the game after injuring himself against Utah State last week. Wyoming is 8-5 this season. The game will be played December 21st in San Diego with kickoff set for 7 o'clock. And did the College Football Committee get it right? Well, whether they did or didn't, these are your top 6 teams. In the semifinals, number 1 Alabama will take on number 4 Washington in the Peach Bowl on December 31st. In the other semifinal game, number 2 Clemson will go up against number 3 Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl. That game also happening on New Year's Eve. A lot of people are upset that Penn State finished 5th because they beat Ohio State, but they do have 2 bad losses on the season. They'll go to the Rose Bowl and play USC on January 2nd. Michigan will face FSU in the Orange Bowl on December 30th. To the NFL now, Denver taking on Jacksonville. Broncos starting rookie quarterback Paxton Lynch. Second quarter, it's 3-0 Jaguars, and Devontae Booker muscles his way into the end zone for the 6-yard touchdown. Broncos lead 10-3 at the half. To the third quarter, Broncos lead, same score, 10-3. Jaguars are on the offense, and Blake Bortles is intercepted by Bradley Roby. He gets to the outside, and he returns it 51 yards for the pick 6, and the Broncos take a 17-3 lead. To the fourth quarter, same score. It's 4th and 4. Bortles takes the snap, can't find anyone, so he takes off right up the middle for the 22-yard touchdown. Broncos lead 17-10. Later in the fourth, same score, less than 2 minutes in the game. Time is running out. Bortles fumbles the football. The Broncos recover it. They tack on 3 more points and win it 20-10. The Broncos improve to 8-4 and are sitting in 3rd place in the AFC West behind Oakland and Kansas City. That's going to do it for sports. We'll be right back after this.
Local people, local news. You're watching Local News 8 at 10.
Well, this is interesting. There's a parrot on that man's shoulder. This is out of Washington County, Oregon. Authorities say the man brought his parrot, named Bird, to county court with him, thinking his case wouldn't take too long, so he left the bird in a tree outside, but the judge ordered that the man be arrested for violating the terms of his release on misdemeanor theft charges. The security deputy took the man out to get his pet from the tree. The bird then posed with its owner in some of his booking photos. The man then had a friend come pick it up and care for it until this case is resolved. The man is being held on a $10,000 bond. Chris, what's going? Just take the weather.
That was an interesting mugshot. We'll just go with that. Let's take a look at Viper radar. A lot of the snow showers in the eastern highlands and moving into the southeast high country. In fact, we've got a little area of particularly heavy snow coming in towards Aberdeen. You can see that kind of lightish blue patch just north of American Falls Reservoir. So we are going to be seeing some decent snow out of this. And again, Soda Springs, Montpelier, I know you guys have been waiting for the snow. It is coming. Just give it a little bit longer. Idaho Falls extended forecast. The big thing we're talking middle of the week is cold temperatures. Sub-zero in the morning, high of a mere 10 degrees on Wednesday. Yep, that is a proper cold snap. And even Pocatello, typically slightly on the warmer side, still waking up to single digits, barely making it out of the mid-teens. And if you really want to go cold, head to the hills. Jackson, 10 below for Wednesday morning, and Island Park, even a bit colder than that. So
we'll see you back here tomorrow night. Have a good night, everyone.